you're probably not depressed. You don't need to go on Google and try to figure out why you feel the way that you do. It's possible that you're just tired of being somebody that you're not. You're tired of putting on this show, this path that you've been following, when you know deep down that it's not the correct path for you. Why are you doing this? That it's a path that you shouldn't be walking. Being around people that you're not supposed to be around, going to a job that's unfulfilling, knowing that you're not supposed to be doing that, and living a life that's not aligned with you, living your highest purpose, your highest good. There's so many names and diagnoses, drugs, medicine, pills, just anything and everything to help identify what's probably wrong with us. Now, when you really start looking into it, what's going on is just a certain moment in time of how you've been feeling based on how you've been living. And so what do?
Well, we've been living a certain way, so now we start living differently. We start becoming the person that we're supposed to become. These are the steps that I took, and you can take too, to help get out of this position and finally start moving forward. The world is just so different now. It's so different, far from what we were taught from our parents, our teachers, the things that we saw on TV. We were conditioned to be a certain way. And those ways that created this mindset that we all have is just not gonna work in today's world, especially if you're my age. I'm a millennial, I'm in my 30s, and everything that I thought and everything that my parents thought that they knew was best for me, it would not work in today's economy, with today's marketing, with today's business structures. It just would not work. So I had to really literally fight myself to get out of that mindset. And look, if you're watching this, then maybe it's help that you need with YouTube, maybe it's help that you need with video creation, maybe you want to know some editing tricks and tips, anything like that, and I'm here to help you. First, I want you to know that I was in your position as well. I'm not lying when I say that. As a matter of fact, look at this photo right here. It's embarrassing for me, but look at this photo. That's me, balding at 26 years old. And this isn't normal. It's because I was stressing out. Stress that I was feeling because I just really felt like I wasn't progressing in life. I wasn't where I thought I was supposed to be when I was in my mid-20s. So there were 3 things that I did to help change the direction of my life. And you can try these out too for yourself. 1, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. 2, examine your values. 3, get out of the comfort zone. And I've got a 4th one, it's a bonus. Welcome imposter syndrome. And if you're not familiar with imposter syndrome, I'm pretty sure at one point in your life you've experienced it. We'll talk about that when we get there. But for now, I want to talk about paying attention to what you are paying attention to. Oh, dude, your hair is so bad. Okay, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. It's very simple. What are you paying attention to? Whenever you find yourself scrolling on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer at work, whatever you're doing, what are you watching? What are you looking at? What is entertaining you? Where is your time going? Where are you spending your time? Your time is the most valuable thing you have. So if you're gonna be giving it to a social media platform like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, what are you paying attention to? What do you find so valuable that you're watching? Now, at the time of my balding here, what I was absolutely heavy on paying attention to was Gary Vee content. Gary Vee content is probably the only thing I was watching on social medias. Whenever he had a new YouTube video, I was watching it. And you would think that that is positive, right? You think that would be the stuff that I should be watching to help me get out of the position, to help me move forward with my life. And yeah, he has good, valuable content, but the problem is that all I was doing was consuming and not acting. I'm watching these videos, I'm watching his content, and I'm learning his methods, but by not applying anything to my actual life, I was becoming stressed out. So I appreciate you watching this video. And if you watch it all the way through, thank you. But I'm gonna need you to actually act on the things that you're learning. And if it's content that's not stressing you out because you're just consuming so much, it's probably gonna be something else. Are you just constantly look at people who have better lives than you? People who post all the glamour, the nice houses, the nice cars, the travel, the vacations, the beaches, whatever it is that you find enlightening. If you're just only paying attention to that, then you're gonna develop the fear of missing out, right? That's actually a thing where you start comparing your own life to somebody else's life. You're working at your job 9 to 5 or even a night shift, and you're watching people who it seems like they don't even work. All they're doing is just posting videos, and they're living such a more glamorous life than you are. And yeah, that's a real thing. People do that.
And the problem is, by consuming too much of that content, you start losing interest in your own life. You start thinking that you're not good enough. You start thinking that you don't have what it takes to do what these people are doing. But the truth is, you do. You absolutely do. You need to stop comparing your life to others. And the only way to do that is to stop consuming that kind of content. Stop comparing your life to others with people who have better things than you, who have these perfect lives. There was a couple that was real famous. I think they're actually on the downfall right now, which is great because they just don't seem like good people. It's I don't know their name. I know who they are, but I don't know the Ace family. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Ace family. You probably haven't. The only reason why I heard about them is because I had a client a couple years ago asked me to do a baby shower video similar to what they did for one of their baby showers. So I had to watch their video in order to see how they did it. But the point is, they portrayed this perfect family. They portrayed this image of mom, dad, kids, and for somebody who's living my office is dirty, my house is dirty. And if you have a dirty home, if you have kids that are just always yelling and crying, then you start looking at their content and you think, man, how are they doing it? Everything's so perfect. Their kids, they never cry. They're always having fun. They're always on an adventure. Everything is so aesthetic. Everything is perfect. And when you start thinking that everything else about everybody else's life is perfect, then your life, it just starts to seem not so perfect. So you need to get out of that situation. Pay attention to what you're watching and adjust. The next thing I did was I started to examine my values. What do I value about life? What do I value about the outcome of my life? What am I doing with my time? Time is valuable to me, right? So what am I doing with it? At the time when I was stressing out, I hate that picture. I was currently working a warehouse job. And when I wasn't working, I would just go home, I would shower, right? I had to get clean. But after I showered, I was playing video games. I was watching TV. I was hanging out with my friends. I was going out to happy hour. If you're in a point in your life where you're ready to take a different path, then you absolutely have to make changes. That's the only way to make it happen, to make something happen. It sucks. I'll be the first person to tell you that sometimes it does suck. If you genuinely want to make a difference in your life, then you will have to do something different. So start looking at what matters to you. For me, I wanted to get out of my job. I wanted to be at home with my family. Those are all very important to me. I find that valuable. So what I had to do is I had to start thinking, what can I do to get out of the situation at the warehouse job? Whatever situation you're in, you need to start writing things down and you need to start figuring out a plan. What I started to do is I found a local coffee shop and I would go there for a couple of hours every day after work and I would start writing things down. I would start writing down ideas. I would start contemplating, how can I make these ideas happen? This video is designed to help you understand that you need to start outlining the things in your life that matter the most and what you want to change. Because the only way to make change, again, you have to do something. You have to act. You can consume content all day. And again, thank you for watching this video. You can consume my videos, Gary Vee videos, who's hot right now? Alex Hormozy, he's popular right now. You can consume all the content you want. You have to start acting on it. You have to start evaluating your life. Start evaluating when you can start making changes because you have to make these changes in order to make change for yourself. Next, you're gonna wanna get out of your comfort zone. Yes, comfort zone. If I'm talking a little bit quieter, it's because the babies are asleep. Remember, it's really early right now, so I'm trying not to wake them up. So let's start by identifying what is your comfort zone. My comfort zone, it was not talking to anybody. It was going to work, going home, being in my room, playing video games, going to the coffee shop, not talking to anybody, being in a bubble. That's what it was. And I did not want to step out of that bubble. So as I mentioned earlier, I was consuming a ton of content. Let's use Gary Vee, for example. Gary Vee says a lot that you need to just reach out to people, work for free if you have to. And I really took that to heart. I understood what he was saying, but I just could not see myself writing people, messaging people, DMing people I didn't know. But I understood that I needed to do this in order to make a change in my life. So what I did is when I would go to the coffee shop, I started looking up accounts, social media accounts. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to start making videos for people. So what I was doing is I was going on various accounts, people who had maybe between 5,000 to 10,000 followers specifically. And what I would do is I would find these accounts and I would look through their posts, and if it looked like their video content was lacking, then I would reach out to them. I would message them and I would say, hey, my name's Rob. I got a camera. If you need any help with your video content, I would love to help you out. What you have is great, but I think we can probably get it to the next level. I would send that message to people, and trust me, it was not easy. It's so strange because I could do it now, like no hesitation is fine. When you're going through a change in your life, when you're trying to split into a new path, the truth is that you're gonna have to be uncomfortable, and you're gonna have to break out of this barrier that you've put yourself in. You're changing your mindset. You have to start doing things differently than the way you've been doing them in order to make a change, right? So what's your comfort zone? You need to identify where you're at and where you want to be and how you can get there. How can you break that bubble? So a big piece of my journey into recovering my hair, into no longer stressing out, into getting out of the position I was in was finding my comfort zone and breaking through it. Because if you don't do it, if I would have never done it, then I would probably still have that bald spot. And my life would probably have never changed. It's the uncomfortable truth. And now the last thing I did that you can do too is to welcome imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome is going to happen whether you like it or not. Once you start building your new path and once you start walking down that road, your body, your brain, everything about you is going to say that you don't belong there. Everything about you making these changes in your life is going to work against you. Your brain starts telling you, what are you doing? You're not good enough. This isn't you. This isn't what you do. You start talking to clients, new people. You start meeting new people, making new friends. And your brain is just telling you, what are you doing? Get back to what you were doing before. Now, what I mean when I say you need to welcome imposter syndrome is that you just need to be prepared for it. And there's no real way to prepare for it except for understanding that you want to follow a new path. You have to understand that the reason why you're making these changes in your life, the reason why you're reevaluating certain things, the reason why you're getting uncomfortable and breaking comfort zones is because you're genuinely trying to make a change for yourself. We have this natural instinct in our brain that wants to keep us from danger. And when there's a sign of change in our life that's new and uncomfortable, that's almost like a signal of danger because we're not doing what we're used to be doing. We're not used to the normal life that we've been living. So when imposter syndrome does happen, you have to know that every person that you admire, every person that you look up to, every success story out there, those people have all been through it as well. Me, I experienced it. Making these videos, making content is not something that we're used to because we're just so used to living a normal life that once we start doing things differently, our brain is just freaking out. Like, what are you doing? Stop. And man, I could do a whole video on imposter syndrome. It's a real thing. It really is, and it sucks. Because imposter syndrome keeps people from progressing to that next level of their lives. And you should be proud of every accomplishment you have. Any step you take in changing your life, you need to be proud. Your brain is going to try to stop you, but you need to follow your heart. Do what you're destined to do, and good luck. My kids are up. Talk to you later.